All right, in this video, we are going to do some practice sunflower petals. But first, you need to print out your tracers, your sunflower tracers. This is what it looks like. I would say just go ahead and print out everything in the first section there. Print out your references too. There's also a little instruction sheet like this called How to Paint Your Glass. And this just has the list of things you're gonna need. Your glass, a small brush or two, a little styrofoam plate, paper towels, cotton swabs, maybe an apron to protect your clothing, your actual paints. These are glass enamels. You specifically need to use glass enamels if you're painting on glass. And these are basically just folk art enamels. And then you need a little cup of water just for cleaning your brush. You don't ever want to mix any water with these paints. It won't harden, it won't cure properly if you do. No water whatsoever. You need your traceable trimmed out, which I'm going to show you in a second. So you're going to need scissors and tape. So those are the list of things that you're going to need. And the first thing we're going to do is prepare our glass. So we're going to do it on a practice glass. So I'm just going to take this. I like using these microfiber towels. I'm just going to spritz a little bit of alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, on this towel. Be careful you don't breathe that in too much. And a lot of times I'll just stick my hand inside of the glass and, you know, just wipe the whole thing. You're going to probably hold it by putting your hand inside of the glass. Or in this case, I actually have a handle I could use, but I'm just going to do it this way. And a lot of times I will lean it against my body, or I'll sit down in a chair and have it prepped, you know, propped on my lap to make myself more comfortable so that my hand isn't straining at all while I'm painting. So now that I have it nice and clean, the reason why you want to have it cleaned with alcohol is to remove any skin. Your skin, even your fingertips, has just a little bit of oil in it. You don't want any oil or dirt on the glass. Always wash your glasses too, by the way, when you first get them. I mean, I know you know this, but I'm just saying, always wash your glasses first. They have to be really super dry, and then I would still rub them with the rubbing alcohol, wipe them off, and let them dry a minute. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get our little plate out, squirt some yellow paint, and we're gonna practice a few petals now. So here's my styrofoam plate right here. I'm gonna turn the camera down so you guys can watch me doing this. Make some room here. It's a really beautiful day here, and I've got this conservation area back behind my house, and there's all kinds of interesting critters out there. I don't know, it sounds kind of cool though, kind of relaxing. I thought, you know, what the heck. All right, so here you're gonna see me doing this demo here. Always you wanna shake this paint really pretty good because it might have separated, or stir it if you have it in a little pot or whatever. Give yourself just a little dot of it. Don't dispense more than this at a time because this paint dries very quickly, so you don't want to put a bunch of it out. All right, and then I'm going to use a really small brush. This is, you know, my detail brush. And I'm just going to practice petals on here. So I've got this tracer sheet, but I've got some extra ones that I trimmed out a second ago. I almost dipped my sleeve into this paint. That's another thing. This paint is not going to come out of fabric very easily. So you might want to, you know, warn your guests, pull your sleeves up, all that good stuff. So I'm going to start with this big one right here that I have trimmed, and see how I trimmed it really close to the edge of the design. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can tape this inside of this glass. It's not going to be easy, but I got big chubby fingers, but we'll see. Maybe not too bad. Good enough, I think. good enough. This is just a practice anyway. Now, what I can do is actually hold it in place with my finger inside. I can actually hold it like this, and I can see pretty well. I've got a pretty good guide of where I'm gonna paint my petals. So I'm just gonna take my little brush and I'm gonna load it first. So basically when you load your brush, and you know, you'll get used to the feeling of the paint and how much to put in there, but not a ton, okay? Not a big glob. It's loaded in there and then I'm kind of twirling it. So it's not a big gob of paint on the end of my brush, okay? And I'm just gonna come over here and I am going to basically start here and do a little swipe and another swipe. And it looks thin. It looks like I almost wiped it right off as soon as I put it on. That's what I'm talking about. You might need to put glasses on as you're doing this. What you want to do is just take your time. I've got my pinky leaning against the glass, and you want to find a comfortable position for yourself. I'm going to lay this down on the table and just get yourself acclimated with the whole thing. I feel like I need my glasses. I can't really see if I'm too close to something. So, and what you're going to notice is there's this little shadow thing that happens that throws you off. It does take a little bit of getting used to. As soon as you touch the brush to the glass, it spreads the brush bristles out and makes it real fat. But if you hold your brush at more of like a 90-degree angle, like I'm doing right here, the tip of the brush only is what's touching the surface, then you get a finer line. So I'm gonna take this off of here so you can kind of see. What this looks like. It's hard to see it when you've got the design there. So what you do is you take the design off. Easier said than done with my fat fingers. And then you're gonna see it much better. Now this was just one layer. It's kind of like nail polish. It takes a couple of layers of paint to get nice coverage. So I would just keep going around, but these were just our practice petals. Now I have to let this dry for, I would give this a second coat. And we're even gonna mix darker colors, like probably my first layer would have been a yellow-orange, which I'm gonna show you when we go to actually paint the petals. I probably would start with yellow-orange and then go to yellow, and then my final layers would be a little bit of white mixed in with my school bus yellow. But if I try to paint a second layer on now, and this is what happens with everybody, you can tell it's still wet by the shine. You need to let this dry for a good 5, 6, 8 minutes, depending on the humidity level in the room, or wherever you could paint outside. But if it's humid, it's not gonna dry right away. So if you try to paint over it, you're basically gonna wipe it right off. And the first coat is the hardest. The second coat you can lay on a little bit thicker. If you lay your brush more, just like with acrylic paint, if you lay your brush more sideways on the second layer, you can put it on a little bit thicker. So that's much better coverage on that second layer. So that's it for our practice strokes, and I'll see you on the next video.